Welcome to Bastards of Oblivion. The Clones of Baby Hitler, Part 2, Mothership Connection. I look at my calendar. In those days, we wrote stuff down with real paper and everything and carried around with us so we wouldn't forget stuff, because we didn't have iPhones and Androids back then. I have 4 days off this week, including Saturday and Sunday. I am so stoked. I push the button to start the coffee maker. The telephone rings. It's 1981. Like I said, we don't have cell phones. Naval Air Station somewhere, Airman Trinity here. Yes, sir. I scribble something down to make it look like I am doing something. I am starting to feel uneasy lately. The message said, all air traffic is grounded. This came from the NTSA, now known as the NHTSA. I get in the Jeep and damn the torpedoes. I stop in front of the captain's quarters just as he is stepping down from the front porch. His quarters are freaking nice, y'all. Real nice. I grew up in these types of houses. I know they are haunted, but you probably don't believe in ghosts any more than you should believe this story, so fuck off. Anyway, it reeks of history. No, seriously, you can literally smell it. I hand him the note. He reads it and folds it up and puts it in his back pants pocket. Later, the note was lost in the laundry, like so many socks. It was later discovered by the black sun behind a refrigerator on a star freighter bound for the star system in the Canis Major constellation. He shot me a look that said, hurry. So I raced the captain back to base command as quickly as I can, just barely missing a squirrel, which I am not really sure was there. I've been seeing a lot of squirrels lately. When we arrive at the chow hall at precisely 095800 hours, I pull out my little clipboard and mark off some boxes. I wrote down some stuff, look at my watch just for good measure. Tried to make it last until 1000 hours because the captain wants to set a good example. A lot can happen in a minute. Seriously, sit in a quiet room and stare at the clock. I bet you don't last 17 seconds before you realize just how long it is. Time is bullshit, but maybe I will talk about that later. I see Larry waiting for me at the entrance to the galley. The smell of bacon and fried potatoes fills the crisp morning air. On a carrier, it mixes oddly with the compost created by the waste at sea. It is a very unique smell, but I digress. The captain steps out and some of the new kids get all excited. He salutes the fish and walks into the cafeteria. I secure the vehicle as I am turning towards Larry, and I see a shadow from the corner of my eye which fleets towards him. It is comically classic in the sense that it actually looked like a demon from the comic books written by Jack T. Chick. Old Jack used to work for us, but he fell prey to the Black Sun. We tried to save him some face, but anyway, I'm straying. Where was I? Larry. The shadow flew at him, and then it was never there. He laughed and said, "Hey, goody two-shoes, what's up?" I was like, that just sounded so gay. The thought of that was compounded by the fact that I had not acquired a girlfriend, which is unconsciously expected by my peers. And then an angel flowed before me and dropped her purse. Of course, being the gentleman that my father raised, I obligingly picked it up for her and handed it to her, thinking this was the moment I was going to fall in love. She snatched the purse from me and said, "Excuse me," in a really condescending voice that basically implied, "How dare you, dare you." I noticed the sleeve of her uniform has one fat stripe and a star. She's a commodore, an admiral. That's like a one-star general. And she just made me want to get close to her. She smelled like baby powder and cigarettes. The attraction was insanely compelling. Then I noticed that she shaved her eyebrows and repainted them back on, which made me think of clowns. And I smiled, and she smiled back, and I felt like I was looking at the devil. She knew I thought she looked like a sexy clown. This made me a little uneasy. She walked off, and I realized I had not said a word, and she did not act like an officer, but more like Veronica from the Archie comics. I lusted after her, and I loathed her at the same time.
Dude.
Larry was standing behind me. Don't you know who that is?
Who?
Her. Her?
Yeah, you dimwit. What the fuck? Yeah.
She floated into the galley like Galadriel from Lord of the Rings. It was awesome. So yeah, old Larry Stevens. Anyway, he had tickets to Fuzzy Fuzberne. It was 1981. I was barely 19. He had met this stripper in town and wanted to take her to the concert, but the stripper would only go if he found a date for her sister. He said he had never met the sister, but the stripper was hot, so what are the odds that the sister is not? Besides, I like Fuzzy Fuzberne. The concert was tomorrow night. I had plenty of time to prepare. After chow, we drove around and looked at stuff. The captain looked very sharp in his uniform, and lots of people smiled and shook hands. There were even a few hugs. Papers were signed, and I guess some decisions were made, but I can't really tell you because I don't know. Anyway, we all had fun driving around the base there in the Jeep and stuff. The light began to dim as if it was an eclipse. Captain, does the light seem funny to you? He was silent for a few seconds. Yes it does, Airman. Pull over. We get out of the Jeep. Oh my God. A large triangle something was in the sky. It was so big that it was blocking out the sun, and it was easy to see that it was not inside the Earth's atmosphere. The trainer jets were grounded, and the Stulip pilots had all gathered at the edge of the run-up area where they test the planes and jets. All planes had been previously grounded, and then it faded from view and the sun came out, and people just sort of went back to whatever it was that they were doing previously without questioning or noticing even that something wonderful had just happened.